Right, I think we're live now. This is going to be recorded live, obviously. Most people from the UK will be waking up later and watching it. So hello from Hanoi. We're in Vin Homes. It's myself here, Mr. Chaplin, Adam Christopher Chaplin, CEO. To my right here is Jacob, the lead developer on all things DIG, the decentralized finance governance chain that we are connecting with our system. And on the end there is a well-known face. It's Billy Boy, the Chief Marketing Officer. Hello, Billy.
Hello.
All right, so what we're going to do is here, the format is I'm going to talk a little bit about DeFi, a little bit about DIG, and if any questions come up on the side, if anybody's actually got up to watch this, we will answer the questions as we go. All right, so I'm going to need somebody to watch out for the questions, and let me know what the questions are, please, Mike. So we're just going to start now and wait for the questions. Right, okay, DeFi, decentralized finance for you. Obviously, we are slightly behind on our release for the platform. That's nothing to do with the developers or the coders or anything that's gone wrong. It's to do with me wanting to get all the work checked 3 times. So I'm the hold up. We have it checked once by the developers. We then have it checked by a second party that does an audit, and then we have it checked by somebody that will check that there's been no back-end doors put in or any security issues. So I'm not going to sacrifice the timeline to get it out quickly so we have an unsecure platform. Give you some more insight into that if you need some more insight. The way this works is we have a platform, and on that platform, DeFi, whether that's pawn, P-A-W-N, pawn, or whether that's lending from you or lending from the peer or peer-to-peer lending, there are lots of entrances and exits at that platform. And what that does is that creates a little doorway, if you will, that a lot of hackers can sneak in through. So we've had to build another chain for security. That was the reason for building it, the DIG chain, which we'll get to later, and that then needs to link with the platform properly to make sure it's secure. There's nothing wrong with the Binance Smart Chain. No, it's a great chain, very popular, probably too popular, that's his only problem. So we wanted to have our own security and be in charge of our own chain as well. And the upshot of that, of course, is you're going to get some extra tokens. Actually, they're coins because it's our own chain. I believe we are there's only 2 actual projects in Vietnam that have gone out through IDO or ICO that actually have their own chain. Most of them are just building contracts, smart contracts, nothing wrong with that on a blockchain, but we're actually building a blockchain. I didn't start building this blockchain myself 3 or 4 months ago. The gentleman that's building the chain here is Jacob. He's all the way, where are you from, Jacob?
Buffalo, New York.
He's a Buffalo, New Yorkian, so he's an American, but that's okay. He seems like a nice chap. Welcome, American. Oliver. So he's been building test chains. He's built 4 test chains before this. So the last build he's doing now is DIG. So we've been testing and building really solidly for 2 years. But we didn't want to tell you what we were doing because it would have been too much information at the beginning. So what DIG will do is it will dramatically increase the, from our point of view, the security on the platform. It will also make things a little bit quicker. And it will give us a chance to reach out to a very important market, which is the property and land acquisition markets. I don't know if you understand anything about property, but it's very hard. The legal system, the governance, the checking, the land rights, the loans, all these things take a long time, but if they're put onto a digital contract, you can literally buy and sell your share in the house in minutes online. And the thing you've got to do really is watch to make sure that everything that's online is actually been accredited and cleared by us. But so that's in its very essence. So we know what the DeFi platform is going to do. There's a bit of a delay. That's my fault, but I'm not going to sacrifice security for time. But it's any day now. Those of you who've had the link, I believe you can go on there and you can have a look. It looks very simple, obviously. So does Google, but there's a lot going on in the background. But I think the lay of it, the flow of it's very simple. I think the brief that we gave was we'd like a 5-year-old to be able to use it, and I think we're pretty much on that. Obviously a very clever 5-year-old, but the idea is that people go on there and rather than seeing a very technical site, they go on there and anybody can use that, and it's pretty easy to pick up. It's simpler than using Facebook, so that's the idea. But what I want to talk about today is, because I'm asking the question that I'm being asked all the time is, when's DIG going to be released? When are we going to get our coins? Well, DIG will be released, and it's slightly delayed due to the complex issues that we've had with the platform security, to make sure it's correct. So DIG will be a maximum of 10 years away. No, the DIG will be a maximum of 4 weeks away. okay, and a minimum of a week and a half, 2 weeks. So somewhere in there, DIG will be being released, all right? I don't want to give you an exact date because otherwise have people jumping off bridges if we miss the deadline. So we're now going to put our deadlines a bit further forward to give ourselves some breathing space. What a lot of people don't realise is that something like Pancake Swap, for instance, all they did was they took the code from Uniswap, they copied it, and that can be done in literally a minute, all right? And then they've added a little bit of data to it and a few things to it, different, and then they have Pancake Swap and Burger Swap. These are basically stealing other people's code and then putting a good marketing behind it, but it can be done very quickly. We have 20 smart contracts, different smart contracts on one platform, not one like Pancake Swap or Uniswap, 20. All right, so we want a go-to platform for everybody. We need to improve the security. So to give you a bit of a technical rundown, and I can shut up now, I'm just going to hand you to Jacob. Bear in mind, Jacob speaks in technical terms. If it gets too technical, I will jump in and help you. In your own words, Jacob, introduce yourself, mate, and explain what we're up to.
All right, guys. So I'm actually going to start with how I met Adam and sort of where we took things. So I met Adam about 2 months ago now, and we hit it off. And definitely wanted to get involved in what he was doing, but in general, what I've been doing professionally speaking is I've been building freestanding layer 1 blockchain systems with the Cosmos SDK. And what that means is, building independent blockchains that can talk to other chains. And I've also, the way that I ended up in Vietnam was actually to look into tokenized real estate. I think that is a vast market because, especially those of us who've been doing cryptocurrency.
How big a market? How big?
I mean, it's trillions, literally, right? What would you say the real estate market is?
I think the reflections on it are about 290 trillion, the market globally. Yeah. But actually, they're saying that's not accurate because if more people can get involved and literally buy a $10 NFT in a property, that will become almost doubled in value more people get involved. Because at the moment with property, the problem is that the property, you've got to buy the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now you don't have to buy the whole company, do you? When you invest in a company, you don't have to, right? So you're basically picking up shares, if you will, that are digitally and blockchain irrefutably put on the blockchain. So this opens up real good property returns for anybody, right?
That's right, it does. And okay, here's the thing. DIG is a compliance nightmare on a per jurisdiction scale. So DIG itself does not get into property. So what I mean is the DIG blockchain is going to coordinate other blockchains that live inside of national boxes so that they can fully comply with every relevant real estate regulation.
Okay, so in each country that has its own different regulations, normally you'd have to start building another chain, put all the information on there. So DIG can morph into any country by linking to that particular chain.
That's exactly
right.
Yep. Okay. You would put a compliant chain in that country. It's coded to actually comply with their laws so that we can do this, because this is one of those projects where, yes, it is hard. Yes, it will take time, and yes, the value is tremendous. That's why I think both of us were interested in it.
Yeah. I mean, we thought with the pawn side of it that and the online sort of lending and borrowing was good, but obviously this is another branch to us, and actually it's probably one of the ones that everyone's excited about. We spoke to somebody yesterday. I can't say who yet, Billy, but somebody that's well respected across the globe in this.
An original person who was very on in Ethereum and someone who is potentially
one of the original Ethereum developers, if you will, genuine developer. It's a guy from the UK, and when we get this correct with the NFTs and the property, he is beside himself because he knows we're going to get world press on this. So again, we've got to get Jacob in to make sure the code's correct, got to get it checked again, because if we get this correct, and I'm sure we will, over a period of time that we need, we will be first on the market. We've also got interest from a company called Lloyd's, which is a property development company in the UK that number one. We're getting a lot of people asking us to be part of this, and we're getting a lot of early investors asking to put money in, which we're not taking. We don't need from the early investor. We've already had that money in from the early investor Vietnamese, and that's why we want to reward you and keep it as part of the same thing, and you get your dig. So that's me. I'll shut up a second.
Sure.
Over to you again. Link up.
So, what are some of the things that the dig chain itself is going to do at launch time? Well, it's kind of passing the torch off to the community so that we can identify the most viable sites globally to run this sort of project. In some places, it's not likely to be possible. Maybe the government isn't going to respect property records that are stored on a blockchain. That's fine. We'll move on. We'll find somebody somewhere else that does. Maybe there will be places where it's not legal to sell portions of a piece of real estate from another country. That's also fine. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. And so what you're going to do as DFY holders who are receiving the DIG token, you're going to participate in this.
Right, so
Yeah.
just the figures on this. So
Yeah.
if I have one DFY, decentralized finance for you,
Yep.
token, I get one, as long as I've got it staked.
If it's staked,
It's got to be staked, yeah. If it's staked, I get 1.5.
That's right.
If it's not staked, how much do I get?
One.
So if it's not staked, you have one DFY token, you get one DFY token, correct?
That's right.
If it is staked, you have one DFY token, you get 1.5 dig coins. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk about how that actually works and how we look to issue that.
Totally. Okay, so over the next week or so, what you're going to get is a page. To use this page, you're going to need a MetaMask wallet and a Kepler wallet. Okay, Kepler is the most common wallet in the Cosmos ecosystem, and of course, MetaMask is what you would use to access Binance Smart Chain.
One second. We're giving those instructions out.
Absolutely.
Cool.
You're going to see a button.
Oh, very easy to use, but we'll produce instructions.
Yeah.
We'll produce a video if we need, like I'll cover the screen so everyone can see the exact process.
Yep.
Make it nice and easy.
Okay. Cool.
So it is a participatory thing. So basically, you don't click the button, you won't be participating in DIG. Maybe you don't want to. That's okay. We are going to ask DIG holders to actively participate in the project over time. And you'll get this page, click the button, your address will be registered, and then you will receive the DIG airdrop in the Genesis block of DIG. At launch time.
Now, look, just one second. The Genesis block is a very posh way of saying that's the first one. Okay, that's all he means.
So true.
He talks in sort of very posh English. So in essence, you're going to get, you buy one, you get one free, or you buy one and you get 1.5 free. All right, depending on whether you're staked or not. Now, when it comes to the actual DIG coin, it's different than DFY, right?
Yeah, it
Can you
is.
speak about what the differences in staking and slipping
Sure.
and not slipping them?
Okay,
Don't slip them.
so let's just get into how this chain is secured. All right, a proof of stake blockchain is secured by the value of the coin or token held on it, okay? And so basically there will be about 100 computers run by about 100 people scattered around the world. You, as a staker, are going to decide which of those you want to stake your coin against, which of them you think will reputably, honor the platform, continue to maintain the infrastructure.
Well, if I know the Vietnamese, the one that will make them the most money, and the Brits as well, probably. Although you are a very, very amicable man, but a lot of people are in this just for the money.
So if you're looking for the one that makes the most money, that's going to be the one with the lowest commission. But you're going to want to watch out, because if they're missing blocks or they're in other ways doing things that harm the security of the network.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is, again, from the perspective of normal people don't fully understand what goes on in the background. That's cool. When you have the DIG decentralized token, yes, we all want it to pump, yes, of course, and it will over time as we build, but there are ways of monetizing that token to give you a guaranteed income in real money going into USDC. We're going to use on the platform USDC because that's actually backed by real currency. So you can get your interest out in USDC of the platform. But depending on where you put your particular DIG and how you mine, liquidity pools, or stake, depends on the return. But the return's going to be either taken out daily if you want, or taken out monthly or yearly, and it's calculated daily. The point is, all right, if everyone just starts, go sell the dig, sell all the dig, it's never going to be worth anything because we gave it away free. You've decided to give it away free. I mean, it's hard enough for DeFi. Some people have decided it's just worth 3 or 4 cents and they're selling. The platform's not finished. It's insane. We've never seen this before. They've got sell orders on there. But when they've gone, they've gone. We'll get on with moving the price up correctly. But the bottom line is with DIG, it's not something you want to just grab in your wallet and then just sell. Because what we can do for you is this.
Yeah, so, all right, first of all, literally nothing is guaranteed in life, including, income from DIG. But what you will get is a staking reward if you're staking. And let's kind of walk through that. I want to share a little anecdote. One of the coolest things that happened when we launched this blockchain alert, we launched it, we added it to an Islamic compliant exchange called Beldex. And they did this entire Islamic finance analysis of...
I thought they weren't allowed to make any money, Shira law.
Check this out. It's not interest. It's work. It's pay for work.
So that's what we're right, because they're not allowed to make any.
Because exactly, it violates their rules on yesterday. Yeah.
But they're allowed to take tokens.
In this, it was really interesting. I talked to the guy who did it, and his finding, his thinking on the matter was that because a staking reward is being given, from the user's knowledge, because they're reviewing all of the available validators, they're choosing the correct one, and they're participating in governance from it, that they're actually being paid for work and not being paid a form of interest.
Okay.
And so that's another thing that I wanted to say about staking rewards. Sometimes people talk about them as interest, and there are similar-ish characteristics, but a staking reward is really being given to you for taking risk. What risks are you taking? Well, if the validator that you choose either stops signing blocks or double signs, in the case of a double sign, you're going to lose coins. If they stop signing blocks, you'll lose the payment for each block every time.
What Joseph is saying, or just about to say before we go down the rabbit hole there, is that obviously either you're staking or you're liquidating or you're selling. Be aware, it's still a market force, it's not a God-given one, but if it's given to you for free, and we get that 20 cents to $1 over the next sort of 2 years, it's a nice return for you. But there's a lot going on in the background that a lot of people don't tell you about, but in essence, what it means is we can link up our platform to anywhere globally now, okay, a lot quicker, a lot faster, and a lot more secure than any other, certainly than any other project in Vietnam. And globally, I think there's only 8 projects doing what we're doing.
Currently it's 8, yeah. So it's 8, currently right now, 8 IBC-enabled blockchains.
Can you explain about IBC?
Absolutely. So you can go to mapofzones.com, and what you'll see basically are independent blockchains talking to one another. Actually, you can also see some of the work that I've done on demos, including a demo on DIG at mapofzones.com. And this changes the game a great deal, because previously, especially if you were launching a layer 1 system, like something that is not an ERC20 token, you were completely dependent on exchanges to list it. Otherwise, it really didn't have a value. With DIG, what we're actually able to do is make a permissionless IBC connection into an exchange, Osmosis, for example. And the token can be added to a pool there. We can also talk to the governance body at Osmosis and see if they'll incentivize that pool.
What's the benefit of that for people holding DIG?
So if there is, let's say, a DIG Osmosis incentivized pair, they're also going to be able to earn Osmosis through liquidity mining. One of their strategies there, right? They are an exchange and they want to build up the liquidity. They also want to be owned by liquidity providers. And so they're distributing their token at a fairly rapid pace to people who provide liquidity. If you're staking DIG, it's quite easy to take that staking revenue and schlep it on over to...
Stop. Schlep is a word that we're using, because there isn't a word, that entails what you can do with your DIG, decentralized finance governance token coin. So it means that you can stake it, or you can stake it and sell some of it. You can stake it, sell some, and you can take the interest off and put some back in again to compound it. It gives you 4 very strong arms to how you can monetize your particular token. Because you're going to need that, because we're putting literally 500 million DIG on the market in one go, and nobody's paid a penny for those, and we've got to get money onto the chain. And we know how you don't like to give us any more money. You've given us enough. Thank you very much. So we're trying to get other people to basically, if you like, back the chain and put their time and effort in, and that will then give it its value. So proof of stake, if you will, how it started. That was sort of how this sort of, let's get the chain to pay for itself. And it's gone on now to be quite complicated. But basically, the more people get involved with our chain, the higher the price will go. All right. Obviously, it'll go up over time because it's a property chain, and I believe we're the first.
Yeah, I mean, so look, this is what got me excited. You know, Adam and I basically just started talking ideas. What can we do together? What might that look like? How is it going to benefit DFY? And you know, he and I both settled on the fact that like we're both uncomfortable with the intangible nature of all these assets that we hold, and you know, property is real. You can touch it, and it's there. And there's additional challenge in dealing with real things, but you know, we're happy to take that. And
I mean, in essence, what you've got with the reason that I love crypto, we're involved in crypto space. It worries me sometimes, the pumps and the dumps, but when I invest in anything or put money into anything in my life, I look at the very worst scenario and the very best scenario. Well, with crypto, the truth is the very worst scenario could be an implosion of the whole thing, and it could all be worth nothing.
Yep. All
right. If that was to be the case with the NFTs, you have a baseline value, so they'll trade higher, sure. Property NFTs will trade higher. Gold NFTs that we've got coming onto the platform, which we'll talk about later on the DeFi platform, are going to trade higher than the normal price because it's easy to move that contract around. I think diamonds were trading nearly 3 or 4 times as high as they should be. We're going to regulate a little bit more with that because we don't get people caught in a bubble. And we think, best guess, is as the market gets tighter and tighter, which it will do because you know, COVID is going to have an effect globally at some stage when everybody comes out of the houses again. As it gets tighter and tighter, and as people need to get their money out of the market and buy things like food and such, people are going to be going for a lot, maybe not such high returns, because you're not going to get 100% return on property in a day on NFT. But if you plan your finances at the long term and you're looking over sort of 5 to 10 years, NFTs over those periods can sort of double or treble, and that's coming back in not tax free but low tax. You've got to see that as a much better way of looking after your money than, let's say, in the UK. They've got their own pensions. They've got to manage their own pension, and they've got to give it to the government, and the government will turn into, in the UK, not here, the government will turn into nothing over 30 years paying in.
And it's probably better than Dogecoin too, you know?
Well, I think I could go to the toilet now and find something better than Dogecoin. I've left in there.
Yeah.
Well, it allows you to diversify your portfolio and still have it liquid as well, right? And still
Yes.
blockchain to diversify. It's worth noting as well, other people have tried what we're doing, property stuff. Most of the projects we've seen, they've kind of gone and then they've just flatlined.
Because
it's either lack of funding or
no, it's a lot to do with they haven't. Right, we're going to go country by country, right?
Well,
now, the low hanging fruit really, it's the UK, because the regulation is it's freehold. Anybody can buy there, whether you're in Kurdistan or whether you're in Birmingham, you can buy there, right? It doesn't matter if you're German or French. When we opened up the company in the UK, for instance, got all the Vietnamese names on there, no problem at all. If it was the other way around here, we wouldn't all be on there. So it's the contract's going to be quite easy to set up. We've got people there, we've got good contacts there, we're going to get it right there, right? And that'd be great if we had the UK market, that's not bad. But we're then going to expand, and the only way we can expand is by having our own chain.
Yeah.
You can't keep building a chain, but that chain, one of the features, one of the benefits of that chain, the fact is it can link up to lots of other chains. Now I know a lot of people talk about link up, but it doesn't have, I won't mention any names, but there's certain ones that are called link up that aren't link up. This one will link up to I don't know how many in the end, but maybe 200 different chains globally, if we get it right. But we control the highway in essence. We're not just renting the space with a token on a chain. Okay, we control the highway, we control the platform, we control because we want to control the world, we control everything. So it just means that it's within our power to make sure we get it right. What a lot of people don't realise, and I think poor old Billy gets the wrong end of this sometimes, bless him, because he deals with the marketing, is that just how much work goes into this, how many people are involved to build a platform. Because, you know, we sort of view it as like a website, and we've all put websites up and maybe put a template on, and we can have something looking half decent, I don't know, in a day and a half, 2 days, even a week maximum. When you're building something like this, the amount of work that goes in is louder, please. the amount of work that goes in is biblical, and the checking and the coding. You know, if you look at Google, you go on Google, it's a white page, one search bar. What's that? What's all that about? Obviously, they're the biggest. They've got the biggest private computing banks on the planet. We know what Google do. They watch everything, all right? But the point being is, don't judge a website by its front page.
Yeah, it's worth noting the amount of work that goes into deploying smart contracts. The amount of it's different to just building a WordPress site. Right?
Yeah.
Designing the
they had the
user interface. You have to deploy the smart contracts into the site itself.
A lot of the problems, a lot of the problems come from like sort of movies like, I don't know, Facebook, right, where this young 23-year-old kid has had this idea, and within 2 years he's global. That's a movie, right? That's not quite how it happened, and that's not quite how it's funded. If you've ever developed a worldwide site and had the privilege of doing that, which we have here, the amount of work involved just with the building is it's enough to give the developers a good breakdown every month. They literally have been working on, to be absolutely fair, for the last 2 weeks. They've been doing 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, so respect to the developers, and they don't get a lot of respect because they're sort of in the background, but they're 1/4 of this company, and they are doing a fabulous job. Yeah, I mean, the CEO's a bit fat, but generally okay. The lead developers, we've got, just to give you some background here, we call him Mr. Viet Key.
Ah, yes.
And his real name is Billy?
Dr. Dan Ming Tuan.
Well done, Billy.
Very respected blockchain expert in Vietnam and Southeast Asia. President of, I think, the Viet FinTech Association.
Yes,
Vice President. He's involved in a lot of organisations. He's one of the best hackers in the world. He's often paid to go in and attack a system to find weaknesses in that system. And as I think you said before, he very, very, very rarely, if ever, does not get into the system.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever failed getting into a system.
He's gifted, to say the least.
Yeah, and he does. He was the one that did the final checks before we went and then implemented the checks. And somebody I trust, whether he would be Vietnamese or German, he's got that sort of. He's certainly in the top 0.1% in blockchain.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm just going to speak to the guy's skill for a second. So I can use elliptic curves, and I have a good understanding of how to use them in software. He can implement them, he can explain the math behind them, and he can find vulnerabilities. I was amazed. I love talking with him.
Okay, so he's a good guy, and he's on board. The thing that we've got to sort of work on, as we're a community, right? It's a newer development. Things will go wrong, as they sometimes will, okay? But we rectify them before they become a problem. There's going to be bumps in the road. It's all part and parcel of development. If we as a community can stop attacking poor old Billy, right? You know, if we can back ourselves, get the sell orders off for a little while. I will put another $1 million into marketing next month. I'm going to give you some exciting news in a minute, what we're going to be doing. Or Billy, you can give it, Billy, yeah?
Yeah, no, we've got some good stuff coming up. We've got a documentary with a certain, I don't want to say the biggest, but I think they are the biggest crypto publication in the world. That will be coming up soon.
What are they going to do?
So they're going to fly their team out to the UK, so we're going to have them with our partners in the UK, showing them how we would put physical assets onto the blockchain and then get loans against them. So they'll be interviewing everyone involved. They'll be showing the kind of the backstory of it, and also showing what I think is very important is that we have very traditional sort of, what would you call them, little England businessmen, pawnbrokers from the countryside, kind of, so to speak, not people into blockchain who are coming into this because of COVID, because of furlough, because of people getting sort of government support, they've paid off their pawnbroker loans, they've collected back their assets. Pawn shops are now in a difficult position and they need to find new customers. So this DeFi system allows them to reach out to new customers, to expand their operation in a way that, you know, until now hasn't been possible.
It's been localized, right? Totally localized.
Smart contracts hasn't even been a thing you could do. So we're getting these very traditional people on board because they're seeing the benefits of it, which is, I think, a story that not only people outside of crypto can look at and go, oh, wow, that's happening. People inside crypto can get confidence from the fact that these traditional people are coming onto the space. They're actually seeing the benefits now. It's bigger now than just.
Well, I think one of the big problems with crypto at the moment is that it's everyone's fishing in the same pool. Right? They're not making the pool any bigger. There's too many rods in the pool, right? And that just creates confusion in the space and it creates it stagnate. You know, hardly anybody in the UK has ever used crypto. I think the use rate in Vietnam is 20%. I think.
Yeah, I think
Vietnam is the second
in the biggest in the world
for
using
people, the percentage of people in the country who use crypto. Not the amount of money held, but it's Nigeria, then Vietnam, then I believe, I don't know the rest of the list, but
USA
Vietnam is the second biggest in the world for
per capita
users of crypto, which is massive when you consider that it's actually, you know, not.
And to be fair, Vietnam have been, you know, there's been other developments here. They've been very, you know, they've let us get on with it. They've obviously watching what we're doing. They haven't interfered. They haven't put regulation into us. And we're getting the same reaction in the UK. I don't know if you understand I don't think a lot of people understand what the FCA license is, right? So let me explain that so you can sort of understand what that is, because it's quite important. It's the Financial Conduct Authority's license. Now, who are the Financial Conduct Authorities? Well, they are the people that legislate financial misgivings and givings in the UK, business practices and services. And they have been around a long time. And what it really means is that it puts us in a very strong place ethically. It means that we have got the freedom, of course, to make whatever loans and borrow whatever loans we want and set up whatever peer-to-peer, but there has to be some ethics involved in that. So that there will be parameters set on the platform that will go along with the FCA regulations to make sure that, you know, if somebody's needs to get a loan, they get it at a good price, they get it quickly, and unlike payday loans in the USA, whereas if you don't pay it back in the first week, you've got to pay back 150% in the second week, which is slightly over. So unlike these people that are preying on the poor, this should release some finance to the middle and the lower market, whether it's through houses, their boats, their watches, whatever physical assets, and give them a chance over the next year to at least survive until, God willing in a fair wind, the COVID pandemic goes away. What do you think, Billy?
Economic repercussions. Yeah, and it's worth saying that, you know, these regulations by the FCA didn't just pop out of nowhere. They've been developed over 200 years. To be fair, fair for the lenders, fair for the borrowers, and like you say, ethically correct within, you know, obviously that changes over time, but ethically correct laws to govern financial services. So to follow that not only gives us the ethics, it also gives us global credibility. It ensures a certain amount of confidence in the borrowers. I think it also ensures them.
Fiscally, which is a posh word for money, it's £85,000 for each user on the platform is insured for. So if something was to go wrong, you're insured for that. Now that is not going to cover the people that are making large lending, but it's just nice to have a fallback. But when we're speaking to companies, the great thing about the FCA license is when you speak to a company that's not sure about crypto and you show them you've got the FCA license, which believe me, wasn't easy to get or cheap. When you show them you've got that license, they take you seriously. We'll be branching off into all sorts of different things on the blockchain, blah, blah, blah. But first things first, DIG will be done within 2 weeks or 4 weeks maximum. You'll get it free and we will show you how to monetize that. All right? Instead of just waiting for a pump on a coin, all right, which is... no offence to the Vietnamese, I get where you're coming from. Of course, we want to pump on the coin, we want to pump on the coin. But a pump on the coin usually ends up with a drop on the coin. So we like to move it as steadily as we can up, giving it at least some strength. You know, a lot of the altcoins have lost sort of 80, 90. There's one in Vietnam recently that lost 98% on its first day. So, you know, we're not as high as we'd like to be, granted. It's not just you that like it higher, but for the market conditions, it's done very well. Really, it's been very robust, I believe is the language.
I think, Jacob, as well, if you want to explain a little bit about, and I'll post this on the Telegram group, the osmosis DEX and the liquidity pools within that, which we'll be a part of. The bridges you were talking about with Gaia as well, that will link to Ethereum, being able to take that liquidity in and ultimately find its way into DIG.
I guess
the
this really is
model behind that gives it value.
An explanation, I guess, of IBC, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, first of all, we're going to have DIG. And we're going to have other chains under the DIG brand that'll be jurisdictionally specific.
Yep.
All of those are going to be able to link into Gaia, the Cosmos Hub, Osmosis, a decentralized exchange in Cosmos, and assets on them are going to be tradable there. Now, in a liquidity pool, which is similar to Uniswap, although Osmosis is based in the style of balancer, which means you can have multi-component pools, like instead of just asset A, asset B, it can be asset A, asset B, asset C, or asset A, asset B, asset D, or C and D. You can have up to 8 assets in a single pool. And, okay, so the advantage of this to you is that if you're just sitting there providing liquidity, you can earn a little bit from fees. If the asset is incentivized by the osmosis community, then you can actually earn a great deal more, because what they decided to do is actually transfer ownership of the platform over time to the liquidity providers. So if you're on there providing liquidity, by design, their chain distributes itself to you, actual, ownership stake. Another quick comment on like coin versus token, or infrastructure chain versus ERC20 tokens. So with your DIG, that gives you genuine control of a thing. What is that thing? That thing is a network of machines around the world that enforces certain rules and allows us to coordinate more effectively as a community.
So it's all good. Just want to keep it simple as we can. So basically, you become your own police force on your chain.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you police your own. The people in the community will police that.
That's
make
right.
sure it runs properly, and will be rewarded for that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Just keeping it simple.
Okay.
No, you don't.
No, absolutely. So you as a token holder, you're securing the chain. You're also helping to determine its future direction.
Through voting, right?
Through voting and through ideation as well.
What's ideation?
Just having ideas, throwing them out there, and putting up a proposal in the community pool. If you go to like the Osmosis DEX, you'll see that there's this community pool with about 2 million Osmosis tokens sitting in it, and that is for funding projects in the ecosystem. That's its express purpose.
Okay.
DIG is going to have one of those. The DFY holders, who will become DIG holders, they're very encouraged to go to the community pool, make a proposal, and help to build out the network.
Okay,
right?
so instead of just saying when we're going to moon, they can actually get involved in helping it moon.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So we want the community to get involved now. So if people want to get involved and be active, proactive, they need to contact who?
They contact the chain. How do you like that? There will be a little button that they click, okay? And it's submit proposal, okay? You click the submit proposal button, you write your proposal in there. The other users then vote on whether or not your proposal is funded. If it's funded, you'll receive the funds.
Blockchain democracy.
Stake-weighted democracy, but yes, absolutely.
I like a bit of stake-weighted. I don't know. Democracy doesn't always work. So although they get to put the idea in, it's then stated as an idea, and then people will be rewarded if the idea is good or bad, just putting the idea in, or just on good ideas. Okay,
so you don't actually get rewarded for the idea necessarily. Okay, you're getting rewarded for the idea's execution.
Okay.
You can ask for funding that comes either in a stream or in a bulk block, right? And you might also do what's called a signaling proposal. And that's when you want to formally poll the community, hey, is this a good idea? Should I invest a little more time in learning about it? Doesn't even necessarily involve money, right? And this, guys, is what we're talking about in terms of having a governance chain. Because this is what's going to help us as a community roll out effectively, hopefully a great deal of blockchains that constitute even as much as new build real estate.
Okay, cool. Billy,
Yes.
anything to add?
Yeah, well, so I wanted to just point out, I hope you can all see not just the significance of this for DIG and for DFY, but also on a more longer term global scale, the future of how we govern and interact with society and with infrastructure within society. This is definitely something that is becoming more common and is probably going to grow exponentially over time. So I think it's important to appreciate being involved in something that is very much a very early project,
Cutting
in
edge.
space, cutting edge. Of obviously we're not the first to do governance blockchains.
No.
That's true, but users will learn a lot, and they will get an opportunity to participate in stuff that very, very few people globally are exposed to, and to contribute to its development.
And be part of the wider Cosmos ecosystem as well, which is, you know,
Which is
that's-
linked up to Gear, G-A-I-A, the Gear. And
Gaia,
Gaia.
the Cosmos Hub.
So we're potentially linked up. We could actually do an airdrop if we wanted to over 80 million if we wanted to, couldn't we?
Yeah. Well, that was the one that we discussed.
We're not doing that. Don't worry. We're not going to get rid of all your tokens. Relax.
But there's
We're linked to 80 million already, right? That's what in essence.
We're linked to about 8 chains, and I think Gaia at last count had 370,000 unique wallets. When the 80 million
BSC?
came from BSC.
Yeah, BSC. BSC was 80 million.
Wallets were on BSC.
Okay, so we're actually linked to more potential clients than the Binance Smart Chain, because we're linked on that as well, but we're linked to other ones. But the bottom line is, I know that we hit the market probably at the worst time. Everybody loves a pump and to take some money out. That's just timing, nothing we can do about that. But we always knew if we build what we say, we monetize. Now, it took 3 years with the last development to get it to any form of monetization. This one, worst scenario with the development, I'm pretty sure we got this over the line pretty much at least as far as getting the platform finished and getting the word out there. And national TV in the UK want to do a program on us as well, which will go out in America. We've got finance houses that we're going to be doing something with gold that we can't tell you about yet. But if we get this right, we're global news in the finance world. Bloomberg, they're all over this. There is talk of us being an absolute powerhouse with the platform that we're building. But again, we have to get that right. We thank you for your support. But go out and tell people about us.
Yeah.
Get your friends to have a look at the platform. Doesn't matter if they've been in crypto or not. Most people that are in crypto, they think they're an expert. There aren't many experts out there because it's a new space and it changes all the time. So the more people you get involved within your family, your community, the more people you get involved within your own little ecosystem, the better. So ask not what your crypto can do for you, but you can do for your crypto. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the most valuable things they can contribute is ideas. What are your thoughts?
Okay, and not Billy's thoughts, because his thoughts are very dark. It's from England. All right. Right. Well, I'm going to close this off now. If you've got anything to say so. We'll do these periodically, maybe once a week, just sort of the chatty ones, and you can watch them when you want. And if you've got any questions, fire them in on the groups, no problem at all. So we're looking for your support. We're giving you our love and support, and we hope to see you soon, all right, on the platform, using the platform, learning how to use the platform, and spreading the word. So it's goodbye from me.
Catch you later.
Bye.